Matteo Cattaneo from Soudal Quickstep, or in this Vuelta we have to say actually T-Rex Quickstep.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
They changed the name for this race. He seems to be coming into good form. He's up there with some of the good riders. Is not a threat in GC. He's 40 minutes down. And knows how to go in breakaways like this, and obviously is a pretty good climber. So, and he's at plus 5,000 on Unibet. So he's going to be my first choice to win the stage from a breakaway.
Hi, I'm Spencer Martin, along with Johan Bruyneel, and this is Outcomes.
Outcomes is not an online gambling operator or a gambling site of any kind. We are simply here to provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. It is a responsibility of all visitors to this podcast to check current local laws in their area or country before doing any gambling online. It is your responsibility to know and follow your local laws in place. Although we try best to provide accurate information on Outcomes, we cannot be held responsible for any inaccurate or incorrect information which is mentioned on this show. If you place any bets based on the conversations on Outcomes, you confirm or understand that it is possible to lose some or all monies used when betting on sports or doing any gambling. You cannot hold Outcomes responsible for any such losses. Our podcast is here to provide entertainment and should be viewed as that and nothing more. Thanks for tuning in.
Everybody, welcome back to Outcomes. We're predicting stage 12 of the Vuelta a España. Johan Bruyneel is going to tell us who's going to win and how it's going to happen. But first, Johan, I want to get your thoughts on stage 11, which wrapped up earlier today. Eddie Dunbar from Jayco Alula wins. We did not have that. That was not our pick. We didn't even pick Eddie Dunbar to beat Jack Haig in his head-to-head. I feel a little silly. First, I want to get your take on how that happened. How do we get a rider like Eddie Dunbar coming out of nowhere to win this? But then back in the GC group, Ben O'Connor, distanced by Primoz Roglic, Enric Mas, Mikel Landa, Carlos Rodriguez, and a few other GC riders. What's the big takeaway there, especially going into a really hard part of the race?
Yeah, I think I 3 kilometer climb, pretty steep. Obviously, we saw that Primoz and Red Bull had a plan. They came into that climb really very hard, very fast, did a lead out, and then Primoz attacked. Only guy who could follow was Enric Mas, as we have seen throughout the Vuelta until now. And Ben O'Connor initially looked okay, but then he started to struggle to follow the other guy. So a bit worrying. I mean, he does only lose 38 seconds. It's not the end of the world. He still has a over 3-minute lead. But it's obviously not great, especially knowing what's still to come. I mean, we just went over some of the climbs that they still have in front of them. So it's concerning. But at the same time, we also have to say this is like 3 kilometers steep, 9%. This is Primoz terrain. Probably not so much Ben O'Connor. So we'll see. I think that's the big takeaway of today. That once again, Ben O'Connor loses 38 seconds on 3 kilometer climb. Same thing happened. He lost 45 seconds the other day on a 3 kilometer climb. So yeah, I mean, I think it only adds to the suspense of the race, right? I mean, they're getting a little bit closer, but he still has a comfortable lead. So the breakaway, obviously very difficult to choose somebody, especially such a big breakaway. There's 36 riders in the break. Eddie Dunbar, honestly, I had not thought about him at all. We have not seen anything from him this year that's really pointing into that direction. Then, it's that kind of rider that you kind of lose track of them. I just read that he had like 7 or 8 crashes in the last 1.5 years, which obviously explains a lot. He is a high quality rider, and he played it smart. But it's these stages are difficult to really look for an outcome, and we're going to talk about tomorrow's stage, and it's the same kind of thing. I think so.
Yeah. These are the days you look at and you think, do we have to do the show? Maybe we punt this one. But the thing on Eddie Dunbar that really just shows the importance of timing. I mean, he won that stage on timing. Like McNulty welded it together. You knew, once that happens, it's like a ticking clock. It's like if anyone attacks in the next 15 seconds, they're going to win. He did it. He won. He probably was helped by the fact that he can't sprint. So what does he care, right? He went all in. He was committed because if he gets reeled in, he's not going to win anyway. So he might as well dump everything with 600 meters to go like he did. We should say Ben O'Connor, he didn't lose 37 seconds on the climb. He only lost about like 20 seconds. And then Red Bull actually starting to mesh here a little bit. They had riders up the road in the breakaway, dropped back, met Primoz at the top of the climb. Primoz is getting paced to the finish line by Danny Martinez. That's pretty nice. Like, that's going to help. And then Ben O'Connor was back there by him, like pulling, and then with Florian Lipowitz sitting like an anchor on his wheel, and he had Mika Landa's teammate on his wheel. Not an ideal situation. Probably cost him 10, 15 seconds there.
And also, Spencer, that not just Danny Martinez, but Primoz had collaboration from almost everybody else, like 6-7 riders, and everybody was trying to gain time on Ben O'Connor because they know that brings them closer to maybe a podium or top 5 place. So there was a lot. I mean, there was not just Primoz sitting there. He was helped by first of all Enric Mas on the climb, and then afterwards by teammates and other riders who had the same interest. So it was an ideal situation for Roglic and for Enric Mas actually.
And we'll talk about it at the end of the show, but this was a big day for you guys in the Mas Hive. He looked good on that climb. Some people are taking it to think that he should be the favorite. The betting odds are actually pretty interesting in that respect. He's much higher than I thought he would be, but I'll read the favorites for the stage tomorrow, and then we'll talk about the GC. Primoz Roglic is the favorite. And I should say it's a short stage, 137 kilometers, hilly to mountainy all day. No categorized climbs though, and then an uphill finish, 15 or 16K long, 4.7% average. The last part of that is significantly steep with significant pitches, sustained pitches up to 7% for the last few kilometers. The favorite is Primoz Roglic plus 250, Wout van Aert plus 800, Enric Mas plus 900, Matheus Schelmoza plus 1400, Jay Vine plus 1600, Harold Tejada plus 2200, Richard Carapaz plus 2500, Jack Haig plus 3300, Brandon McNulty plus 3300, Mark Soler plus 3300, Mike Woods plus 3300. It goes on and on and on. Johan, how is it going to play out? Is this GC or Breakaway, and who's going to win?
Difficult, but I think it's Breakaway. Especially if you know that in 2 stages, it's a super, super hard final climb where the GC riders will really need their best legs. Super steep. That's where Primoz should try to take time back on. So I mean, if it's Breakaway, if it's GC day, we have to assume that it would be only Red Bull and Movistar who want to keep it together, and they know that they need to be on their best form the day after. So I don't think that they will waste too much energy and burn any matches in their team to try to keep this together for maybe a stage win and some seconds. Whereas the day after, it will be there will be a lot bigger differences. So I think Breakaway day. I'm a bit surprised that we've seen breakaways that are so numerous. Like today, 36 riders. I mean, 25 riders the other day. How do you choose someone, right? How do you choose someone? Because a lot of riders can go in. But I think it's going to be Breakaway. And I'm just going to pick 2 guys just based on gut feeling, Spencer. There's not really any thinking behind. But Matteo Cattaneo from Soudal Quickstep. Or in this Vuelta, we have to say actually T-Rex Quickstep.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
They changed the name for this race. He seems to be coming into good form. He's up there with some of the good riders. Is not a threat in GC. He's 40 minutes down and knows how to go in breakaways like this. And obviously is a pretty good climber. So and he's at plus 5,000 on Unibet. So he's going to be my first choice to win the stage from a breakaway.
He's plus 8,000 on DraftKings in the US. That's a lot better. The thing I like about Catania, as we were talking about in our pre-record, he was in that move with Ben O'Connor today at the end, and he was not from the breakaway. I assume he was just trying to stay close to Landa. If O'Connor bridged the gap, then he could be up there to help Landa. That's good. That's impressive. If he gets in the breakaway, he would be someone I would consider capable of winning. So that's a really good price, plus 8,000 for a rider like that. I'm going to go a little bit different strategy. This is not a super complex strategy, but I'm going to pick someone from the breakaway today who looked good today, who didn't. Eddie Dunbar, probably not going to be motivated to get into the break and win again. You rarely see that happen. I think Ben King, the American rider, did it a few Vueltas ago, he won 2 consecutive breakaway stages.
Yeah.
You do not see that very often, though. I'm going to pick Max Poole, got third, probably pretty disappointed. Looked really good, though. Really good. I'm going to pick him to win, and he's not as well priced. He's at plus 4,000 to win.
That's not bad. I mean, he seems to be also getting in better shape. Has been in a few breakaways already, but especially today, he looked really good on that last climb. And then if you look, he still finishes third in the stage, so he must have some really good legs. I like that. Another rider I would like to consider for the breakaway, UAE. We know that they've lost all their chances for a GC. Adam Yates lost some time today again, so he's not on his best. Adam Yates, Marc Soler, we know that he did not ride the smartest race the other day when Van Aert won, but he has good legs. He was in the breakaway already when Adam Yates won the stage, right? He was there with Jay Vine, I think. So the other day he was again in the break. At some point, he's going to be in a breakaway and where he's the strongest at the end. And I think that could be tomorrow. He's plus, what is he? Plus 3,000, plus 3,500 on Unibet. I don't know if you see a better price anywhere else, but I like him to win from a breakaway also.
And he's not priced as well in the U.S. It must be a massive Soler following in the United States. But yeah, plus 3,300 on Unibet's the best I see.
Okay.
I'm still not in a good place about Marc Soler after the other day. That was ridiculous to make that decision. But so someone from UAE will be in the breakaway. So we operate from that assumption, work backwards from there. Brandon McNulty would be someone physically capable and not in the GC. He was in there today. It's possible. Marc Soler was not in the breakaway today. He's probably the other one. The outside of Soler, you have Jay Vine, but Jay Vine, he didn't look great today. He was finished pretty far back. I kind of worry about how he's going to get through this race. He's probably not feeling amazing right now with this being his first race back after a really long recovery from injury. So Soler, it makes sense when you consider someone from UAE will be up there. Probably will be Soler. That final climb is good for him. It's a regular gradients with some shallow segments toward the finish, which is when Soler likes to go. You can completely imagine him attacking with like 2, 3, 4K to go, getting a gap, holds him off on the 2 final kilometers, which are a little bit steeper. That's classic Soler terrain. I like the pick, even if I have reservations about his current decision making. My last pick, this is super. We're going back to the super wild card days. Maybe this is emotional. I thought he looked very good today, though. Matthew Riccatello at plus 10,000 to win. It's actually a much better stage for him. Tomorrow is much better than today was. He was always going to be tough for him. Getting over that steep, explosive climb with a lot of strong guys and then trying to win a sprint, that's not really what he's great at, but tomorrow's finish is very good for him. And I think people overuse this, but the gradients remind me of Mount Lemmon a little bit, which is where he grew up training on and he still trains on. So it will be familiar terrain for him. Israel will be up there. Will Mike Woods be up there? We don't know. Mike Woods has not been making breakaways with that great of record at this Vuelta. I'm just going to go Riccatello because we saw he had the legs to get in the move today. I could see it happening again tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, let's from as usual, Spencer, from now on, we're going to see the same riders going in breakaways. Today, there was 3 or 4 guys from Israel. So there's no reason why tomorrow they couldn't do that again. And so obviously it looks like Matteo Riccatello has recovered from his crash. So that's good.
He didn't abandon.
He did. Somebody on the team was sure that he had abandoned.
Who can say, Johan? We don't know. Maybe he is at home. Maybe he's not.
Well, today I sent George a message. I said I had to make some fun of him. I said, there's a North American rider, Matteo Riccatello, who apparently had abandoned the Vuelta, has resurrected and is now in today's stage breakaway.
We need to get to the bottom of that because George claimed he talked to him, that he told him he abandoned. So we'll get to the bottom of that at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Riccitello has a chance tomorrow.
Do you have a second pick?
I already said it. No, I said Cattaneo and Marc Soler.
Oh yeah, Marc Soler.
Yeah.
You're right. So head on to the head-to-heads really quick. First one, Ben O'Connor -116 versus Carlos Rodriguez -116. Pretty interesting one, actually. I don't know if I have a great idea about this.
We're gonna go for Carlos Rodriguez. Today he got the upper hand. If that trend keeps going, I mean, he's now also in the white jersey, fighting with Lipowitz from Bora.
So 6 seconds.
Yeah, so he's gonna fight for that. Lipowitz was with Ben O'Connor and Carlos Rodriguez was ahead of them. So if that trend keeps going, then he should, in theory, finish ahead of Ben O'Connor tomorrow. But Carlos Rodriguez.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, how bad do you think Florian Lipowitz wanted to pull there, watching his white jersey go up the road? I'm sure that was going through his head. Yeah. Rodriguez at -116. That does make sense. I was really impressed with him today getting over that steep climb. That doesn't suit him at all. And he was in that front group.
Yeah.
And so Eddie Dunbar, again, -116. George Bennett, -116. The thing is, I don't know why Dunbar would care unless he was, where is he in GC? He's 18th.
Well, I mean, I think Dunbar would probably, I think he'll try to go in the breakaway again, but I don't know if he can do it or not. But Bennett was in the breakaway too, so.
Bennett probably can't get in the break again. He's too high.
I'm going to say they're both not going to be in the breakaway, and Bennett gets it.
Okay, George Bennett, -116. Louis Menchis, -116. Mikel Vizcarra, -116. I
have no idea. No idea about this one. I mean, it's one of the first times that I'm watching a Grand Tour, and I hadn't realized yet that Louis Menchis was in the race. Usually we all know him of being like the last guy of the first group and then getting dropped a bit, coming back. He hasn't done that yet. So that's probably why I haven't seen him. And then what are the numbers, Spencer?
It's even, so it's -116. The house has taken a big cut.
Oof.
Both these guys were in like the good group, the 744 back. So not with the GC riders, but like the fast group heado.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think tomorrow could be, for example, a guy like Louis Menchis could be one of the breakaway guys tomorrow. I could see that happening.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if they're both in the move, or they both will try to be in the move.
I don't know. I have to say, I don't know.
Where's Menchis?
Who's the other guy, by the way? What's his name?
His name is Mikel Vizcarra. I believe he's
Mikel Vizcarra. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Menchis is plus 10,000. I don't think he's going to win, but I do think he'll be in the breakaway.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go for Menchis.
Yeah, I'd go with him. Sepp Kuss, -116. Christian Rodriguez, -116.
Christian Rodriguez is riding really well.
Like really good.
Yeah. Sepp Kuss today, lost a bit of time again. So obviously it's not going to be his Vuelta. But he does have sometimes those days that he's up there, with the best guys.
Yeah, if Sepp Kuss is in Group 1 tomorrow, GC, I'm like not shocked by it.
Yeah. I'm going to go for Christian Rodriguez. He's in great form.
Okay. And they're really trying to tempt you here. Primož Roglič. This is on FanDuel, by the way. Primož Roglič, -350. Richard Carapaz, +240.
Well, for that to happen, there needs to be an attack of Carapaz, which he might do,
He did crash today. 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
Is that when the decathlon maneuver happened?
I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was Decathlon or Israel Premier Tech. There was jostling going on at the front, and Carapaz.
Yeah, I think it was. I think. I mean, I read somewhere that Decathlon was trying to block the road when the breakaway went, and then Carapaz crashed or something. But I mean, he was still in front of Ben O'Connor today, so
he did lose 15 seconds.
Yeah, not much. Yeah. Roglic. I think Roglic is going to try no matter what in the last 2 kilometers, whether there's a breakaway or not. He's still going to try.
Yeah, that's a good point. So last 2 things I'm going to ask you about. So King of the Mountains right now. Let me go to futures. Enric Mas, the man you think is going to win this race, is currently at plus 1,000. Is that a good bet? Like if Enric Mas wins this race, he probably wins King of the Mountain, right?
Who's in the lead now for the King of the Mountains? Is it Roglic?
Adam Yates. I mean,
Adam Yates.
Numbers are terrible, though. Adam Yates at 22 points. Wout van Aert at 22 points. Primož Roglic at 18 points. Enric Mas is down at 6 points. But because these climbs aren't classified, I don't think that accurately. So they're getting like 3 to 5 points a climb.
I still think that Enric Mas is not beating Roglic for the KOM, even if he wins the race.
Interesting.
Roglic is going to be close.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So, and then that takes us to...
Listen, Spencer, with all honesty, I don't know how the points are divided on those big climbs. How many points there are to be gained. So
I don't think I know that well either. Vuelta KOM jersey. Let's see if we can. I just assume it's 20 points for the Cat 1s. The weird thing is the Vuelta doesn't do. I think they only have one HC climb, so it differs from the Tour in that respect. Do they give you a breakdown? Well, let's just see what won it last year. How many points did that take? 135 points. Remco wins it. So there's still a lot of points to be collected out there. But Richard Carapaz wins in 2022 with 73 points. I think it's going to be a big number because we peeked ahead and these next few stages are brutal summit finishes, and probably the person that wins the overall will be winning those summit finishes.
I think so.
The interesting thing, so Primož Roglic plus 120 to win, pretty good. Well, not a good price, but like a lot of faith in him from the betting market. Enric Mas plus 200, so not that far behind. Ben O'Connor plus 500. I'm starting to lose a little bit of, I don't know, when it's now it's like 318 to O'Connor. That's quite doable for Roglic, especially if you assume he has a good final time trial. And Mas is looking amazing in the climbs. So that's 2 people that could beat him. But that just seems aggressive to me. Enric Mas plus 200 to win. Like that's a lot of confidence in a guy.
It was better.
Really
like
win.
a few days ago, Spencer, he was still plus 500. That would have been good. Plus 200, starts to look less attractive, right?
I agree. Like, I mean, let's just look up his career wins. He's 4 minutes back. That's not impossible. Do you know how many GC wins he has in his career?
Yeah, I know. 1.
1. And do you know what continent that took place on?
In Spain, Tour of Valencia.
No? Didn't win Valencia. Just won a stage.
Oh, did he win in China?
Yeah. In 2019.
In China, yeah. I thought he won the Tour of Valencia, but that he finally didn't win it. That's true. Yeah.
He got
second. I think Stefan Kung won it or something. Or
Kung won. Nelson Oliveira second. Enric Mas third. 2021. Okay. So not a great pedigree of winning, but he looks so good on the climbs. I guess that's what's happening. People are saying, well, he's so good on the climbs.
I think he's never looked better, Spencer. I think he's never looked better than this. That's why I have some faith that he could potentially win this Vuelta.
He could. I don't know if I would bet him at plus 200. That seems really aggressive. If you're
Yeah,
Ben O'Connor's super
the
fan,
thing is, he's
now's your time.
behind. So he's behind Roglic, and he needs to take. Okay, it's not just on Ben O'Connor. He needs to take more time on Roglic because he's going to lose at least a minute or more on the last time trial, 24K. So he needs to
take about 2 minutes.
He needs to take 2 minutes on Roglic. Yeah.
Not impossible. Actually, now that you say that, it's not impossible. That's assuming Primož Roglic is not with him. Roglic looked pretty good today. Maybe it wasn't the best he ever looked.
He did.
But
He looked better than on Sierra Nevada for sure.
Yeah. Well, Johan, do you have anything else to add before we go?
No, that's it for me, Spencer.
All right. We will be back tomorrow for stage 13. These stages are going to get easier and easier to predict. Thank Lord, because this is like the hardest stretch of the race so far. But thank you so much, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks, Spencer.
Bye.